I'm Jaysea Devoe, I'm 14 years old and I love teaching yoga. Welcome, this is a morning flow class and here I have Miley, she's going to be demonstrating. And you can go ahead and start to come onto your mat. We're going to start in a child's pose. So you can kind of come down onto the knees, bring them out wide towards the mat, big toes to touch, and extend the arms out in front. Go ahead, close the eyes. And just slowly start to deepen the breath. Noticing all the thoughts in the mind. And we're going to imagine that we're by the ocean. And we're going to let the mind waves start to let go and the ocean waves start to take over. So allowing the calmness guide you. Here we just woke up and starting the day. Our muscles might be a little bit tight. So using the breath to go deeper into the poses will help. And take one last deep inhale here in the center. Exhale, let it out. One more time, inhale. And then go ahead and walk the hands over towards the right side. Keep the body where it is. And slowly start to shift the weight down on the left hip. Here we're going to feel the stretch in the side body. A few more deep breaths. Next exhale, let's walk the hands back to center. Full cycle of breath in between. Okay, then over to the left side of the opposite side that you did last time. Walk the hands over and again we want to sink the weight down into the hip. Feeling a stretch along the side body. Next exhale, let's come back to center. Arms both extend out in front. On the inhale, let's shift up, coming onto all fours. Good, so here, go ahead and have the wrists stacked underneath the shoulders and the knees go ahead and stacked underneath the hips. Find a nice form here. On the inhale, drop the belly gaze forward. And on the exhale, round to the spine, open the back of the heart up to the sky. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, round back all the way up. Go ahead and flow here at your own pace, taking your time. And do one more round here. We'll come neutral into all fours. Go ahead, start to tuck the toes under, lift knees about an inch above the floor. Good, hold here. Engage your core. Then exhale, release up, downward facing dog. Lift the hips to the sky. Good, so here, we're probably a little bit tight because we're in the morning and I love this stretch because it really kind of gets all the muscles kind of going. I want you to focus on the hands. Really press through the fingers, almost as if I picked up your fingers, they wouldn't come up. Pressing through the palms, the knuckles. And here, as you notice, Miley has her knees bent. So this is going to be able to give the arch in the spine. So go ahead and breathe here. Maybe bend one knee at a time. And then inhale, shift forward in between the hands, coming into a high plank. Okay, go ahead, drop the knees. And we're going to lower the body down to the floor, all the way. And we're going to come up to a baby cobra, so just halfway. Noticing how she's using the shoulders to lift up, not the hands. Squeezing through the back. And exhale, down dog. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up. Again, pre-pressing through the hands. Lifting up through the hips. Inhale, bring the gaze in between the hands. Step both feet. We're going to come up to a forward fold at the top of our mats. Good, so here I want you to really focus on letting go of the head. And here, a lot of times this pose is very tight because of our hamstrings. So I want you to go ahead and bend the knees. Even if you can touch your toes, go ahead and bend the knees, relax the head. You can go ahead and grab opposite elbows. And I want you to imagine that you're a piece of kelp in the ocean. So our feet are rooted down to the bottom of the sea. And the rest of the body is just going with the current, going with the flow. A few cycle of breaths here. And then go ahead, release the hands back down. Here we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So go ahead, with the knees both bent, go ahead, straighten through the right leg. Good, so straightening through the right leg, breathing here. This might be a good enough stretch for you. You're totally fine to stay here, or if you want to go deeper, bring the hand up towards the sky. Good. Breathing here, lengthening through the side. Exhale, bring the hand back down. I want to switch legs, so go ahead, straighten through the right. Good, bend now through the right, straighten through the left leg. Let's take a few breaths here. Good, so go ahead, opposite side. Good, and then you're going to keep the right fingertips planted. Left arm comes up, come to the twist. Again, this is one step further, so if this does not feel good for your body, you can keep both hands down onto the mat. Breathing here, opening up to the side body. Exhale, release that back down. Halfway lift, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, release it all out. Inhale, arms sweep up alongside the body. And palms down to heart center. Go ahead, close the eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Coming up with a good mantra for this day. And I read this quote the other day. The quote was, "One small thought in the morning can change the entire day." And this really inspired me to share this morning practice with you guys. Let's come up with that mantra, intention, quote, whatever inspires you. Let's let that guide us through our practice. Inhale, float the eyes open, arms sweep down on up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Good, inhale, halfway lift. And forward fold, exhale. Plant the hands, step back to a high plank. We're gonna hold. Exhale, down dog, lift the hips up to the sky. Go ahead, find a slight bend in the knees if needed. We're gonna breathe here. And then you can bring the big toes together along the midline of the mat. Right leg's going to reach up, three-legged dog. Good, so here a lot of times we want to open up those hips, but really we want to keep them squared. So once the hips are squared, you're going to feel the stretch in the leg and hamstrings more. Good, exhale, go ahead, step that through in between the hands at the top of the mat. Coming into a low lunge, drop the back knee down, untuck the toes. Good, here, find the nice form with the ankle directly underneath the knee. Inhale, arms can extend up to the sky. Good, so here, softening into it. You don't want to be too stressed with the shoulders up towards the ears. You want to relax them down. And you can bring the fingertips together. Go ahead and interlace the hands. Good, and then we're going to just do a gentle flow here. So on the inhale, we're going to shift up. And then on the exhale, arms are going to extend down to cactus, going deeper into this lunge. Inhale, arms come up. Good. Exhale, cactus. As you notice, the elbows come out, opening through the heart. Inhale. Exhale. So this is your practice. Find your own flow here. Maybe you want to go faster. Maybe slow it down a bit. Maybe hold for one pose, whatever you feel good. Okay, and then inhale, arms come up. We're gonna keep the legs in the deepest expression here. Okay, and then go ahead, plant the hands, framing the foot. Good here, straighten through the front leg, coming into half splits. Good, come up onto the heel. Good, so we're breathing here. Again, this is one of the poses we want to keep our hips square. And as we exhale, we'll be able to soften and come down. We're stretching out the hamstrings. Let's breathe here. Start to surrender on each exhale. And then so you can start to bring the head back up, gazing forward. We're gonna do a little bit of a variation here in half splits. So we're gonna take our front leg and we're gonna bring it out towards the side and corner of our mat. Good, so as it comes further, and then shift back into the half splits position here. Good, and then we're gonna walk our hands towards the inside of our mat. So both hands come on the inside of the foot, shifting our weight so we feel the stretch here on the inner band of our hamstring. Breathing here. Relaxing the head. Let's take a few more deep breaths here. And we'll inhale, bring your hands back to center as well with the leg. Go ahead, bring it straight back into that first half split. Let's take a full cycle of breath in between. Good, now to the other side. Go ahead, bring the foot, cross it over, bring it up a little bit. Good, shift back into the half splits position and walk the hands on the outer edge of your leg. So both hands are gonna come over. Here we're pulling back with the hip, crossing, and you're gonna feel the stretch all along the side of the leg. Good, taking your time here. Warming up the muscles for the day. And then go ahead, bring the hands back to center again with the leg straight back. Let's take another full cycle of breath in between in our middle half splits here. And inhale, let's shift back forward into that lunge we first started in here. And we're going to come into lizard pose. So go ahead and walk the foot towards the outer edge of the mat. Both hands come in between. And here, start to kind of breathe here. Open up through the chest, gazing up or forward. And I want you to take your time to slowly start to make your way down. Yeah, so maybe walking down onto a forearm. Again, this is your practice. You don't want to force anything that doesn't feel good. So if this doesn't feel good, just come up a little bit. You want to be able to feel the stretch. So how does this feel? Is this good? Okay. Breathing into the hips, the legs. Coming to the deepest expression here with the hips. And then we're going to take our time as well to walk our hands back up. Rolling up slowly. Okay, so breathing here. And you have the option to either keep the foot planted on the ground, or you can roll towards the edge of the foot, as you can show. So roll to the edge. And if you do this, I want you to flex your toes out. Good. So if you're going to roll out towards the edge, make sure to flex the toes. Good. Press through the left hand, and we're going to extend the right arm towards our hip crease. Good. So we're coming into a twist here. As you can see, she's opening up her body, gazing forward or towards the floor, your choice. And then if you feel comfortable on the inhale, you can bring this arm all the way up. Breathing into this. Again, feeling what feels comfortable for you, not going past your edge, but playing with it. All right, and again, you can either stay here, or next, if you want to go a little bit deeper into a different stretch, we're going to just lift that back foot up. Good. Breathing into this here, feeling how it feels. If you want to go deeper, bring this hand all the way back towards the foot. Good. So here we see we're opening up through the hips, legs, and the heart. Flexing through the toes. And then you can bring that arm all the way back down towards the mat. Bring the sole of the foot back down, plant it on the floor. Good. And then slowly start to walk that foot all the way over into pigeon. So we're going to walk it towards the opposite side of the mat that it is at. And then slowly start to drop the knee down and drop the hips as well. Good. So a variation for this, you can come onto the back and do it. Otherwise, you can just start to stay here. Let's take a breath. Start to gaze up forward. This is really tight on the hips. You can place a blanket underneath the hips here. Otherwise, we're lengthening, gazing up. And as you exhale, start to walk the hands down. Again, this is one of the poses I want you to take your time coming down into. We're still kind of waking up the muscles. Relaxing the back. And then if you want, you can extend the arms all the way out in front. So again, finding your edge, seeing what works for you. Just kind of bring awareness back to the hips, make sure that they're staying square. Take a few more deep breaths of silence. And slowly we're going to start to make our way out. So taking your time just like you came down, we're going to come out of it. Walking up. And we're going to do a little bit of mini back bend here, opening up through the heart. Good. And we're going to I'm going to give you another option. So this is again part of your practice, whichever feels good for you. So if this is good enough stretch right here, go ahead, stay here. Otherwise, if you want to go deeper, we're going to come into mermaid pose. So basically the back knee stays down, this foot just lifts up. Good. So again, I want you to bring mindfulness to the hips. Make sure that they're keeping square and they're not kind of falling out towards the side. Good. Again, you can stay here. Otherwise, if you want to go deeper, bring the hand and go ahead and grab a hold of the back foot. And here you can also use a strap as well if you want to come deeper into this. Gazing forward, and I just want you to stay here and breathe through this. Good, good. Bring the hand back down towards the mat. And slowly we're going to bring that foot into all fours. So bring both knees back. Drop both knees down like this. Good. And then we're going to come down into a child's pose. So extend the arms out in front. Good. So here you might feel a difference in the hips. Maybe one feels a little bit more stretched out than the other. On the inhale, let's shift back up, coming onto all fours. We're just going to stay here. Just straighten out the right leg. Tuck the toes and kind of shift back and forth, stretching out the hamstrings here. And you can come back to center. Switch legs. Bring the opposite out. Shifting back and forth. Again, pressing through the hands. And drop both knees down. Tuck the toes. Lift up. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Again, find a nice bend in the knees here. And when you bend the knees, it really helps you get the arch through the spine. And that just kind of helps in general feel the stretch of the downward dog. Awareness back into the fingers. We're going to inhale, shift forward to a high plank. Hold here. You can drop the knees or keep them straight. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, full cobra. Opening the heart up. Good. So you can either have the knees planted on the mat or lifted up. And as we exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips up. Take a few deep breaths. Bring the big toes back together along the midline of the mat. And then we do the opposite side. Left foot reaches up, three-legged dog. Again, bring awareness to the hips. Make sure that they're staying square here. A few more deep breaths. Good. Exhale, step that through in between the hands, coming into our low lunge. Drop the back knee down and untuck the toes. And make sure that the ankle is stacked underneath the knee, so you can shift your foot forward just a little bit. Good. Then inhale, arms extend up towards the sky. I want you to take your time here. Good, so don't be too tensed up with the shoulders. Go ahead, relax them down by keeping strong through the arms. A few deep breaths here, breathing into the hips. And then you can interlace the fingers. We're going to start with that flow we just did. So bring the fingers together. On the inhale, shift up, forward, so coming back. Good, and then inhale, arms up. Good, let's hold here. Exhale with elbows out. Now we're going to add the flow. Inhale, shifting back. Exhale, coming down. Do that a few times, finding your rhythm here. One more. Inhale. Exhale, fullest expression, opening up the heart, sinking down deep here. Palms together at heart center. Go ahead, frame the foot down. Coming down towards the mat. We're going to come into half split. So bring the foot back into the center and shift forward through the front leg. Here we want to keep the hips kind of squared. We're going to breathe into the hamstring. Softening here, letting the head go. Good, maybe going a little bit deeper. Good, and slowly start to bring the gaze back up forward. And here we're going to take that foot out towards the edge of the mat. Bring it out a little bit. Okay, now shift back into our half splits position with the legs. And walk the hands towards the inner side. So both hands come down. And we're going to start to shift the weight so we feel the stretch in the leg. Yeah, you can even walk the hands over a little bit more, just like that. And really, I want you to breathe here. You're going to feel the stretch on the inner hamstring band. And we're going to come back to center. Bring the hands back and the leg back to normal half splits in the middle. Good. Full cycle of breath in between. Good, then we're going to bring that leg over towards the right side of the mat, so up and over. Good, both hands are going to come towards the outer side of the leg. Shift the legs back into the half splits position here. Good, so we're crossing over the leg. And we're going to feel this stretch of our outer hamstring band that goes all the way up towards our hips. Good, breathing here into where you feel the stretch. Relaxing the neck down. One more deep breath. And exhale, bring the hands back to center. And we'll bring the leg back straight as well. One more deep breath here in half splits in the middle. Okay, then inhale, shift forward back into the lunge that we started in. We're going to come into lizard. Walk that foot towards the edge of the mat. Both hands come on the inside. Again, you have the option to keep the foot planted down, or you can come to the edge when flexing the toes. So here it's really important that you flex through the toes just to protect the knee. So whichever one you choose, go ahead. We're going to slowly start to walk the hands down. Taking our time. Again, noticing where is your edge. Maybe if you passed it, come up a little bit. Or if you want to go down a little bit farther. And flexing through the toes. A few more deep breaths here. Good, then on the inhale, slowly start to make your way back up. Good, breathing here again, just deciding what you want for the leg. And if you're going to come towards the outer edge of the foot, flex the toes. Good. Right hand plants down. Left arm comes to the crease of the hip. Good, opening up towards the side. Flexing through the toes. Again, if you want, you can bring this arm all the way up, coming into a twist here, extending through the shoulder and through the fingertips. And if you want to go deeper, again, you can stay here, or you can lift the back toe up, just like this. And you can bring the arm all the way down to meet. You can also use a strap if you like. Breathing into this, opening up through the heart, the legs. And exhale, bring the hand all the way back down. Here we're going to walk that foot all the way into pigeon towards the opposite side of the mat. So if you see Miley, she's walking it all the way. And then she's dropping that leg down just like that. Again, hips, we want to make sure that they stay in square here. You can use a blanket underneath this side just to prop up if you like. Take an inhale, gazing forward, opening up through the heart. And take your time on the exhale to walk the fingertips down. Again, this is a deep stretch for the hips, so take your time. Maybe if you want to go deeper, you can extend the fingertips all the way out. Noticing how this feels with your body. One more deep breath. And then we're going to start to walk the hands back up. Taking your time here again. You can either stay here opening up the heart. Otherwise, if you want to explore and go a little bit deeper, we can come into mermaid pose. So basically keeping the knee down, lifting up the foot. Good, so the hips want to stay squared here. Good. You can bring the hand back. Maybe reach for the foot. Good, so our left hand is planted down on the floor and our right hand is reaching back. Good, here, opening up. One last deep breath. And we'll bring the hand back down. We're going to shift back into all fours, bring both knees back. Again, let's do the same movement, extending the right leg back and shifting front and back. And move to the other side. Good. We're going to tuck the toes under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Again, this is our last downward facing dog in this practice. So let's kind of bring all our attention to our fingers, our knees, our hips, extending up. Good. Then inhale, gaze in between the hands. Exhale, step both feet, landing in a forward fold. Relax the head here. And then we're going to bend these all the way to become seated down onto the mat. Go ahead, kick out the legs in front. Again, we're going to do a little bit of a reverse here. Go ahead, place the hands down and just lift the hips up. Good, so lift them all the way up, bringing the head back, up, more. Yes. And exhale, go ahead, come all the way back down. Good, and then we're going to release all the way back down onto our back. So you can come lying down. Let's just close the eyes here. Let's take a breath. You can drag the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around them. Give yourself a big hug here. And we're going to be coming into a twist. Let's extend the arms out into a T. Drop the knees down towards the right side. And here with the placement of the knees, it depends on what you want to stretch in the back. So if you have the knees kind of further away from you, the more it's going to kind of twist through the lower back. Now if you want to twist more the upper back, bring the knees closer towards you. So go ahead and find the placement. Let's take a few deep breaths here, just gazing up towards the horizon, up the sky. And slowly on the inhale, we're going to lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, start to gaze over the opposite shoulder. Beautiful. A few more deep breaths here. Good, exhale, knees will come back to the chest. Wrap the arms around them. Give yourself a big hug. Go ahead, squeeze all the way in. Make a tiny ball with yourself. Head comes up. And exhale, release. And then drop the knees to the left side or the opposite side that you did last. Again, arms can extend out. And go ahead and find the placement of the knees for which you want to stretch the back. So further away from you, you can stretch more the lower back, a little bit closer, more the upper back. Okay, so you want to plant through the shoulder blade. And on the inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, go deeper. A few more deep breaths here. And come into our deepest expression. And exhale, knees come back into the chest. Go ahead and wrap the arms around them. Good, so you can either stay here and holding the knees into the chest or grab the big toes, give them a happy baby. Good, and then you can bring the knees back into the chest after a few breaths there. Okay, then exhale, go ahead and release the legs down, coming to lying down on their backs. We're going to do a little bit, our last little exercise here. So I want you on the inhale to go ahead and squeeze all the muscles in the body, the fists, the face, the legs, chest. We're going to hold at the top on the inhale. And exhale, let it all go. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, squeezing all the way tight, squeeze every muscle you have. Exhale, release. Last time, squeeze. Open mouth, exhale. Closing the eyes. Here I like to use a bolster either underneath the knees if you like. Otherwise you can just lay flat down on the back. I want you to notice if any muscles in the body are tense. Maybe it's the jaw, face, shoulders, hips. And on the next exhale, tell them it's okay to let go. Take a few more deep breaths here. And then I want you to slowly start to let go of the breath. So what I mean by that is don't take too much effort for the long inhales and exhales. I just want you to let the breath come in naturally. Slowly starting to deepen the breath. Start to bring the awareness back into the body, wiggling finger, toes. When you're ready, you can make your way onto a side, right or left, your choice. We'll slowly start to prop ourselves up to a seated position, the top of our mats. Go ahead, sit up nice and tall. Close the eyes. Coming back with that mantra or intention that you started the class off with. Let's let that good thought be our thought that inspires this day. Being thankful for this moment, this morning. Bring the palms together, heart center. Allow the head to slightly bow. As the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.